Have you ever known somebody that says, "My mind is made up, don't confuse me with facts, that's it"? That would not be considered flexible thinking. On the other hand, you hear people talking like this. "Well, you know, as a result of hearing everybody's opinion, I think I've changed my mind." Or, "As a result of gathering all this data, I think I've come to a different conclusion." So you hear that ability to change, to be open, to remain flexible to the degree that I can come up with a different conclusion. Flexibility also means coming at problems from a different angle. For example, if you know of de Bono's lateral thinking, same thing as lateral thinking. When a problem's not working for you, or a solution to a problem not working, you come at it from a different perspective. Let me tell you a little story. At one time in my life, I did some work in our great state of Texas. Texas is a very large, rich state because of its minerals and natural gas and cattle and so on, oil. And this little town where I was working built a rather large skyscraper. Nothing like what you have in Melbourne, but rather large, about 40 stories tall. And as soon as the tenants moved into the building, the owners began receiving complaints that the elevators were too slow. And so the owners called in the elevator engineers and said, "Make the elevators go faster." Well, they did change the gear ratio somewhat, but they still got complaints, elevators too slow. So they said, "You got to come back and do something else." Well, they reconfigured the elevator so that one bank went nonstop to the 13th floor and then stopped beyond that, and the others stopped along the way. Still got complaints, elevators too slow. They thought about dropping a new elevator shaft. Very expensive to retrofit the building, couldn't do that. They thought about putting an elevator on the outside of the building. City ordinances wouldn't allow it. What to do? Well, they called in some environmental engineers who solved the problem immediately. They installed mirrors in the lobbies where the people waited for the elevators. And the people would stand there and they'd straighten their tie and they'd fluff their hair. The problem, you see, was not the speed of the elevators. The problem was what to do while you're waiting for the elevators. And once they redefined it, you see, then they could solve it. So that's what we mean by flexibility of thinking.